Okay, so we're back here Tuesday evening, and so tonight we're going to possibly use our weights in the warm-up, and always have them with you if you want to use them when we go down for a little bit of extra work, and that'll be it. I think we'll just see how it goes really. So let's start with our warm-up. We'll start with taking the feet nice and wide, and we're just going to bend the knees. So keep going with that. And I'm going to lift a heel. I'm going to bring that heel down. I'm going to change over to the other side. Last one. Okay, then we're going to bring the knees in. We're going to go back to that in a minute with some weights as well. Okay, so we're just tapping the toes or the feet from the side. So we're sort of doing a lift. So we're just doing a small one at the moment. And then we're going to start to lift the knee up, but we're going to slow the movement down. And then what we do is we'll stay on one side. So we lift that knee, and then we tap. Working into the hip flexors. Okay, let's change it over to the other side. So as you're bringing that knee up, you should feel a little bit of contraction in the abs. Oh, that's just given me an idea. I can't get my balance. So let's just bring that foot down now. Let's shake it out for a second. You can feel that here. So I've just thought of something actually. That's always a bit scary, isn't it? So, I think the best way to show it, I'll show it like this. I'll show it like this, and then we'll turn back round. So you're going to take your right leg, you're going to lift the knee, take it across to the left, lift the knee, and cross to the right. So what you'll do is you'll start to quicken it up. And you can take it low if you want to. See how you feel. How's that going? In your own time. Oh, I can't even get my balance now. Can you feel that standing leg? Feel the glutes. Last one on this side. Bring it back in, just walk it out for a second. Actually, just take it into kind of a hip roll. get that stretch. And then bring it back in. Take the foot out, the left leg out to the left. Lift, come over to the right. Lift to the left. Pull in through the torso, round into the waist. Oh, let's just do one more. I've lost count. And then just walk it out now. Clicky ankles. Right, okay, so I've done a bit of low body. Let's bring those hands together and stretch, crack and stretch the fingers, and then taking it up, stretching around, and bring the hands again together, stretch the fingers. And stretching the shoulders away from you. I'm just keeping my legs moving. Then we're going to hold this stretch up. And we're just going to stand still for a second, take the feet out a little bit wider and just take it over into a slight side stretch. Try and pull in through the abdominals. Don't go too mad, I can feel that in my back. Then just pull up to the centre, over to the other side. And coming back up, I can feel that in my lower back. And then bring the arms down. How does that feel for you? Does that feel okay? Then we'll take the hands out in front and just take the elbow back. We've got two more. Bring the arms down. I'm going to roll the shoulders. We're then going to work on the waist a little bit. So just bringing the hands out in front. Again, we're pulling in through the abdominals. We're taking it over to one side and back into the middle, over to the other side. So this is where you work at your pace. I try and, it's really difficult, I know, but you just want to tense the shoulders. Oh, it's Pam coming in. And then coming back into the middle and try and get rid of that tension out of the shoulders. That's quite difficult, isn't it? Or is it just me? Right, okay. So we're going to use the weights in a minute. So before we do that, we'll do neck. Yes. So let's take it over to one side. Just encourage the shoulders down. Back into the middle, over to the other side. And back into the middle. This time I'm going to take the head over and you're just going to hold that stretch. You're having problems tonight, Pam, because I can... And then release and take it over to the other side. And then we'll do our little stretch where we take the hands behind I'm going to squeeze into the back. And not to the back, into the palms. Back of the hands, I meant. Okay, and release. Lovely. So roll those shoulders. Then if you'd like to, you can take your weights now. I'm just going to think of a few things to do. I've only got I've got the lighter ones. I'll just get those ready just in case. In case it gets too much. I did a bit of weights. I did a bit of work last night with the weights, so we can do a couple of things that I tried last night, which was quite good. Actually, we'll do it. Just going to bring this over a little bit. Yeah, so first of all, this is just going to raise the heart rate a bit, so sort of helping with increasing the heart rate, also just increasing the warmth in the body and mobilising the muscles and joints. So what we're going to do, you've got both weights in your hands, or not, so you don't have to. So we're just going to start with a knee lift, knee lift. So just let the arms do what they want to do to start with. So we're just taking that knee. And now I've just thought of something. Now I'm going to take the arms like forwards, back on their own. And then what we're looking to do is, as the left arm comes forward, if you're in that position, opposite knee, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, knee kick. 1, 2, 3, knee kick. So what we're going to do, we're going to go a little bit faster, but you don't have to keep up with what I'm doing. And you could go faster than this. So what this is doing, it's working into your shoulders and abdominals and lower body, cardiovascular system. You're all looking very, very good there. Really working hard. How does that feel? Should we do one more? Okay, walk it out. So that the leg that you're kind of standing on, you're going to feel that, especially sort of in the glute area. So now we've just got to work out to do it on the other side. so it's going to be knee lift on the other side. So just sort of do that first. I think it's just good to kind of get that in your head, especially if you have problems with putting things together, because it isn't easy. And then we'll just try it with the arms now. And then when you're ready, you're going to knee kick, 2, 3, 4, knee kick, 2, 3, 4, knee kick. And then just sort of get yourself into your rhythm. And then I push my bottom behind a little bit. Can you see my back's quite straight? I'm not rounding. So a little bit of a lean forwards. And that push your bottom away a bit, get the weight a little bit into the heels. How's that going? Should we do one more? There you go, you've done it. So I quite like that. Right, let's roll those shoulders. Whew. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the feet, take the feet out wide like we did earlier. So into our plie squat position. The arms are just going to come out in front, if you've got your weights or not, it's up to you. I'm going to just gently bend and come back up again. That's my knees, not too happy. That's not good, is it? So I'm going to stay quite high for a moment. But you're keeping the body lifted, so you're not coming down like this. You're going to keep the body lifted. That's it. So just coming down, just having a look. Try not to do this. Try and just bend, and even if you can only bend the knees a little bit, I want your body, your torso to stay in that same place. So I can see a couple of people kind of doing this a little bit. But look, I mean, I know I've got back's a little bit arched, but that's just me, naturally. But keeping the back, you're keeping the body up. That's it. Okay. So, we're going to take the arms out, and we're going to do that one where we take the palms up, palms down. So knee bending as much as you want to. And breathe. Socks are moving. Okay, bring those arms down, back into this. Then we're going to have a go at lifting the arms as we bend the knees. So again, working a bit more into the shoulders. So the elbows come into your waist. Feel that squeeze. Oh, come on then, let's just do one more. Okay, and then we can bring the feet in now. And then we can't really use the weights without doing a little bit on our triceps. So I always like to, we're going to bring the left foot forward, right foot back. Okay, sort of like this, if you can stay in place. And then bring the elbow back. And we're just going to lift. So I'm going to also, as I stretch the arm, I'm going to put my heel down, and then I'm going to lift as I lift the hand. So this is then also stretching my calf muscles, but you can just stick with just the tricep exercise. I always need to stretch my calves. For some reason my right side especially tightens very easily, like every day I need to stretch. Okay, especially if I've done lots of kicks, you know, like I don't mean kicking people. When I did a lot of kicking exercises, the last one, it does really seem to cause problems, or even I suppose running, I don't do much of that. And then we'll change it over, so the right leg's forward, left leg's back. And then when you're ready, just dig that elbow back first. Let's just get the arms doing the right thing first. And then if you want, and you can come back into your calf stretch. It's because I was trying to look. Okay. Let's make this your last one. And then just taking the arms up into our little hammer curls, just so we're just keeping the feet moving. And then just bring the arms down. And then we'll just, let's just try a few circles, only 2 or 3. Don't knock the furniture, and then change over to the other side. And then squeeze the shoulders up, release them. And we're going to lift the heels and lower. So just in your own time, a lift and a lower, just a few of those. You feel that in your calves now. And that will be your last one. We'll then just lift the toes and spread them. release them off, and then just crunch as if you're trying to pull the mat in towards your heels. So with the toes, like squeeze into the mat. Be careful you don't get cramp. And then lift the toes and spread them again. And release. Okay, so we'll come down onto the floor. So prepare the floor. My cat really scratches my mats. She's got, especially the yoga one. As soon as she sees it, she's on it and she's scratching it. So I always have to keep her out of the way if I can. Just bring this down. Perfect. Okay. So we've just got our weights. Right. Let's come down onto our backs to begin with. And we'll start just with our basic stretch. So if you'd like to use some weights, you can do. So it's literally, we'll always start with the arms down by your side. So we're focused on keeping your back, I mean pretty much into a neutral position. Then bringing the arms back down by your side. Then we're going to take the elbows out to the side and we're going to work on that rotator cuff work. Again, you don't have to use weights, but if they're only little, they shouldn't make too much difference. They just add a little bit more intensity. What's it like on each side? You find that one side is a lot more of a challenge or a lot sort of tighter. For me, it's my left side that's tighter, and to the point that I can actually feel like crunches as you take it back. Okay, and then after that one, we're going to bring the arms up. It's all arms at the moment and shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulders off. We're then going to just let them relax into the mat. We're going to take them back into our ribcage closure. Don't go too far unless you can keep your back slightly imprinted. So it's lift, two moves in one. How does that feel? Really working on mobility of your shoulders. And then just bring the arms all the way down. We could put the weights down for now. Then we're going to take the legs up into the tabletop position. Back is imprinted. And then we're going to bring the toes, tap them down. The older I get, the more I click. Now it's my hips. One side anyway. Strange. Let's bring the knees into your chest for a second. And then you're going to go back into position. Let's take the feet, let's flex the feet. And now we're going to take the heels down, one at a time. Okay, bring the knees into your chest. And then we're going to keep one knee into your chest. And we're going straight into single leg stretch. Coming up to lifted, if that works for you. If not, keep your head down. Just keeping the back slightly imprinted. Don't let the back lift. So when you're in this position, the back wants to naturally lift, which is fine, but don't let it lift too much. It's not so bad in this position, exercise, but when we go to double leg stretch, it's important to keep that back in the same place. And then we bring the knees back in just for a quick rest. And now this is where we're going to go into double leg stretch. So as you stretch away, breathing out. So if you're keeping the head down, keep this down as well. If you're coming up, you should find the back will stay down naturally. Yeah, that's right. I mean, some people go quite high because it takes the pressure off your back. So you can keep the head down and you can come up into quite a high position. The lower you go, the more of a challenge it is, especially obviously on the abdominals, but on your back. Let's do one more. And then we're going to bring the knees back in again. Then we're going to not cross the legs, we're going to take the legs up a little bit, and we're going to either, if you're staying down, we're just going to keep the knee bent and bring the leg in like this. You can get that stretch into the hamstrings, but if you do come up, you might be able to leave the legs a little bit straighter. You might even be able to come up a little bit higher, just depends. It's quite tough on your back as well, so, and your neck. Sometimes I feel like I need just to support my neck a little bit. I can't seem to do it on my own. Last one. It's not easy, is it? And then bring your knees in. And just stay there for a few seconds. You could do a slight roll from side to side if you want to. Then we're going to cross the legs now. And we're going to lift up. And now we're going to do our what's called a reverse curls. So we're going to just lift that bottom, lift the hips off as you breathe out. Okay, last one. Bring the knees in. And this is quite nice now. If you take the feet down one at a time, rather than both at the same time, because then that makes the back lift too much. And then let's just stretch the legs away for a second. and then bring the knees back. So this is called what we call, well, I was always taught to call it the crook position, C-R-O-O-K. So it's always like feet are flat on the floor, knees are hip width, and feet are hip width apart. So in this position, what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the bottom, and then we're just going to release it. So start very basic, but we want to really feel that we're working these glute muscles. And what I tend to do when I'm working on in this area, I tend to take my any sort of cushioning away from my head, because it tends to put a lot of pressure on your neck. Okay, so now we're going to squeeze and peel the back off. So we're going up a little bit higher. This is a bridge position, but we're not in this position. We're not lifting the chest, and we're not putting pressure under the back. So let's just roll back down. Try and think of each vertebrae. And this time, we're going to squeeze back up again. We're going to hold that position. And you should be able to, when you sort of check your back muscles, they should be reasonably soft, because the work should be here. Okay, and then we'll roll back down again. And what we're going to do, we're going to challenge, we're going to do a bit more of a challenge. Now, next one, we're just going to take it back up again. Hands on hips, just to ensure that your hips stay raised. And we're going to lift the heels off, and then we're going to lift the toes very slightly. If you've got that sort of flexibility, it's probably going to be a very small amount of lifting the toes. It's a very small height. And just be careful, because of course a cramp can come in at any time. Or you could have clicky ankles. Okay, and just let the feet stay flat on the floor. And now we're going to roll back through, rather than just plonking yourself down, just roll. And let's just stretch the legs away for a second, and actually just do a couple of points and then flex. Can you feel the stretch in your calf muscles? And then we've got one more kind of bridge bit of work to do. Okay. So we're going to have a go of this. If you want to just stick with heel lifts, you can. Okay, I'm going to start on my bad side. We're going to lift the leg, and we're going to tap and lift. But we're trying to keep the hips lifted, so you don't want to come up too far. You can just, you don't have to do this high, because that's working hard. Okay, bring that foot down. I've got one side that's very weak, and we just keep the hips in a good position, keep them lifted. Let's try it on the other side. This is my stronger side, so we shouldn't do it anymore just because it's stronger. So at the moment we're working here, yeah, so I can feel the tension. Have a feel. And does it feel tense in your bottom, in the side? Okay, let's bring that foot down and just squeeze a little bit more. And now you're going to roll down through each vertebrae. So nice and slow. And again, just stretch those legs again. I'm taking my block back. Just have a rest. Bend the knees. Then we're going to bring the knees into our chest. And then we're going to roll back up to the floor. So from this position, if you can, you're going to roll back up. Okay. So I think next we'll do some side work. I think we'll just do completely lower body today. So we're going to stretch. I'm thinking on my feet here with the side work. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with circles because it's a nice way just to mobilise the hip area. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll change direction. And I'm going to bring that leg down. Then we will flex the foot, so we're pushing the heel away and we've got a little lift under the waist. We're going to kick that leg forward slightly and then come back again. Also think about balance and stability. So if you're bringing your leg forward, you're not letting the hips come forwards as well. The hips stay in that same position. You might have to put a bit of weight into your hand. Okay, and then we're going to go, if you can, straight up into a leg lift, keeping the foot in a flex position, point down slightly. That's hard going straight into it. If you need to have a quick rest, then do so. Just put it down and give yourselves a pat. Last one. Okay, so we've done circles, kick, lift. Give yourselves a pat. What that will do is just release it off, won't it? And then we're going to bend the knees. And I think what would be good is to work on the two different types of clam. So we're going to open the clam and close. So we always, rather than just close it down straight away, we want to just ensure that we've got them open, hold, close. I think we're on about 4 now. Okay, so once we've closed the knee this time, we're now going to open and lift foreleg. Why can I feel that? 3. We've got one more, so you just feel that a little bit more in the front of the leg. Okay, and then feel free just to take that leg forward, give yourselves another pat, and that's quite nice. It just releases it off really well. And we'll give that area a stretch shortly. So we're coming up now to seated. And we'll do that all on the other side. So we've got our leg circles first. And we've got a nice long body, position in the body, and the bottom leg is bent slightly. I mean, you can have it straight, but it is a lot more of a challenge, so keep that knee bent generally. Try not to get cramp. But I'm always looking for a little bit of a stretch and a little lift under the waist. And we're going to change direction. Okay, now I'm going to flex the foot, take it to the hip height, and bend my knee a bit more. I'm going to kick it forwards. And when I say kick, it's a nice controlled push forwards. Last one, and then don't forget, if we can, we're going to try and stay in that position and take it up and back down again. We're pushing it, the foot's coming down slightly, so it's targeting the outer glutes area. Lift under the waist again. Okay, and bring that down. Whew. I'm going to have a pack first before we go to our next exercise. So now we're going to bend the knees. I'm going to now open and then close our clam. You should feel it a bit here as well. As long as you're not lifting and going backwards with your hips, and the hips are staying. You put your hands on your hips, you'll be able to tell they're staying in place. Okay, bring that knee down together, and now we're going to lift and lower. Try and relax this shoulder here. It's quite easy to kind of tense it all up like this. Bring it all the way down. I think we've done enough now. We'll do one more now. Can you feel that? Okay, just come across. Give yourselves a little pat. And then we're in a good position just to pop onto our fronts. And then from this position, I think we'll do half plank actually, as we're there really, aren't we? So we're tucking the toes under, and think about the shoulders squeezing back slightly. And then we're going to start just with lifting your tummy off, breathing out, and then breathe in and just let the tummy just flop back down. And then as you breathe out, we're going to lift that tummy up, and then just let it all relax. This time we're going to lift the tummy, but we're also going to squeeze up into the shoulders, lift the tummy, and now we're going to lift into the hips and hold that position. So it's our half plank. Just making sure that the elbows are kind of pushing away from you slightly. Keep lifting, and keep breathing. Then we're just going to release it. And if you found that a little bit too easy, because I know some of you might do, you just take your elbows a little bit further forwards. And you feel the difference this time. So let's just relax the feet a second. Tuck them toes under when you're ready, lifting the tummy off. Yeah, feel that difference. So I'm just going to come down and have a quick look. I'm looking for nice flat backs. That's good actually. I can see some really good flat back positions. Sounds like flat packs. So we're lifting and lifting. So really think about that belly button lifting up. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And then we're going to come back down now. Excellent. And then we're going to just take the hands out to the side. I'm going to lift the whole body. So you should feel the abs when you do that. And we'll just do a couple of those reverse sort of push-ups. So we just come back into a bit of a shell stretch. And then you're going to hover down, hover forwards. Chest is in between your hands. And see if you can bend the elbows behind you to come down. And then when you're ready, lift the whole body up and then coming back. And we're just going to come back down. Whoa. And then this is the last lift up now. We'll take the knees out a little bit wider and just stretch back to wherever you feel comfortable for your shell stretch. So stretching lower back and your shoulders. Let's take it over to the right side and take that left arm across. So we get that lovely stretch down the left side of your body. Coming back into the middle and over to the other side. And come back into the middle, just coming up slowly. And we're just going to do a couple of, come back onto our back to do some stretches for our glute area, as we have worked that quite hard tonight. So onto our backs. So we'll start with the more of the glute, what we call the glute maximum stretch. So it's right leg over the left thigh, draw the leg in. But this time what we're doing, we're encouraging the knee a little bit away from us, so you should be feeling it down in the main glute area. Now release, take that down and then just change it over to the other side. So this might be your stiffer side, so you might find you're going to be a bit harder to encourage that knee away from you. And then we release. Then we're going to do another glute stretch, which is more for the medius, the side muscle. So we're going to bend the left knee, the foot goes on the right knee, and this time what we're going to do is just gently bring the knee across down, sort of almost like you're coming down towards the floor, but you're not going to be anywhere near the floor. You should feel that. I tend to feel it almost like from the knee, but from down to here. Just keep it simple tonight. And we've got a bit of a tummy rumble going on here. And release. Let's just gently stretch that one away. That's it. And then bring the other one up. Bring that knee across. You definitely feel it in the knee, but also kind of almost hip flexor area. It's weird, it's hard to determine where I actually feel it. And release. And then we're going to bring both feet up, and we're just taking the knees just slightly from side to side. So you can take the arms outside if you have room. And you're coming over and taking it to the other side, and you can always go like opposite head position to where your knees are going, which is always a really nice one. And then after this one, we're going to bring the knees into the middle. We'll take the knees back into the chest, and that will then give us the momentum to come up into your seated position. You can sit however you want to, so cross legs if that works for you. And we're going to squeeze the shoulders up and then release them. And we're going to stretch the arms out. We're going to take a breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And back in again. And out. Wonderful. Thank you very much.